Hello everyone, this is Annie from Eagle Eyes again, formerly known as Life's Classroom. Today I would like to keep my message as brief as possible because I tend to carry on. So what I want to say to you today is very simple. Man will always disappoint. I don't know if I'm quoting it exactly right from the Bible, but I know this is in the Bible. But whenever you get disappointed, even from the most trusted, closest person that you think you have in your life, that could be a husband or a wife, or even a mother, a father, a brother, the closest person to you in your life can disappoint you. And sometimes you feel like that's the only person that you trust. This is the person you trust the most, the best, and maybe the only person that you trust, but then they disappoint you over and over again. And I just want to mention Oprah Winfrey for a second. And I've listened to a lot of her words of wisdom and a lot of what she has learned. It's not because she is the wisest and the brightest and the best of us all. Um, Part of the reason why Oprah Winfrey is successful is, yes, she's a billionaire today, but Oprah Winfrey, ever since she was a little girl and her grandmother took her to church, she used to go to church and recite the Bible, and her faith was very strong since she was like 4 or 5 years old. So Oprah Winfrey has had very, very strong faith ever since she was little, and her grandmother only expected her to be a maid, working for a few nice white people, and I quote, and you can do the research and you can see the interview and research it on the internet if you'd like. But um, those are her words, her exact words, and she has shared it to the world. So, and when she that very thing which she said when she was a little girl, and her grandmother expected her just to be a maid like her grandmother, and just find some nice white people to work with. But she had faith ever since then. She was only 4 or 5 years old, and she knew she wanted something better for herself. And I found that to be very amazing and inspiring. And I only wish I was a born again Christian um, a lot longer than now. But my point is that people, no matter how close, no matter how trusted, they could be the only person you trust in the whole entire world. But man, as long as they are a flawed man, as long as they are not God, they are not Jesus, and they are a flawed, imperfect man. And when I say man, I mean man, woman, child. As long as they are of mankind, they will always disappoint. And that's my message to you today. And Oprah also said that, quote unquote, that God sometimes, throw little pebbles in our head to kind of knock us in the head, to wake us up, to give us a little signal, you know, a little pebble, then another pebble, then another pebble, and then it gets bigger and bigger, until it gets, like a really big knock in the head that really wakes us up and say, that makes us wonder, okay, what is this all about? And so I've had those little pebbles over and over and over. And Oprah Winfrey, as intelligent, as smart, as aware, as enlightened as she is, has made these same mistakes over and over and over again because she has been, a people pleaser, wanting to please people most of her life, but she has learned the hard way. And I believe that I have been like that myself. No joke, and seriously. And sometimes we wonder as adults, why don't we know better? Why don't we see? Why don't we know? Why don't we see something coming? Why do we put so much trust in someone, not remembering that they're just human, they're flawed, just like us, just like we are? And what I'm trying to say is that the only being that we can really trust 100% is God and Jesus, or whatever you believe in. Whatever, I don't mean to be specific about one religion, but the only being that you can trust is God. However you pray, however you believe, whatever your religion. Forgive me for mentioning just Jesus, but whatever you believe, whatever your belief, however you pray, the only being that we can trust 100% is God. No matter how close, how much you trust someone, no matter how close you are, you think you are, and how much you think you trust someone, man will always disappoint. When I say man, I mean mankind will always disappoint. And this is something that I think most of us learn the hard way. Don't be one like me, like Oprah, that learned the hard way. Yeah, she's a billionaire, but there's a lot of rich people who are rich, financially rich, and have everything, but they are so poor in many other ways. And as you know, there's a lot of rich people who seem to have everything, but were drug addicts, committed suicide, killed themselves, overdosed, and or some kind of issues that they have had. And it just tells you that, financial richness is not all. Oprah has been rich for a very long time, but suffered even today. She still struggles with her weight, and she even admitted that for years and years she ate her feelings, which is part of the reason why she, never could really keep her weight under control. And I'm not putting Oprah Winfrey in a negative light at all. I'm actually trying to portray her in a positive light by saying that yes, she is rich financially, but she's no different than any of us. She's just like one of us, just with a lot of money. And so my message to you today is just remember that anytime anyone disappoints you, no matter how close, no matter how trusted, no matter how long you know this person, no matter how much they are there for you, they are just a human being, and they will always disappoint. And the being that you must seek after every single day and trust and go for answers, and that will always be there for you 100%. Even when you have challenges and adversities, no matter what challenges, no matter how deep the hole, no matter how dark the place, no matter what your challenges and adversities are, God is the only one you can trust, the only being you can trust 100%. And that does not mean that you won't have challenges, you won't have difficult people to deal with, you won't have adversities and challenges. I just want you to know that any difficult people or place or situation or challenges is an opportunity for you to grow your mental, emotional, and spiritual muscles. And having a strong mind, body, soul, spirit is worth more than any amount of money that you could ever have. And this can be seen with the people who have everything but are not happy and are overdosed and high and just having a disaster for a life. So having mental, emotional, and spiritual strength and muscles cannot be bought and cannot be overcome overnight. And having this kind of strength, mental, emotional, spiritual muscles and strength, is worth, there is no price on it. Regardless of how much money or what you have, being mentally, emotionally, spiritually strong is the most valuable, other than, of course, God, the most highest and most powerful being, of course. Other than the most powerful being that is God, having mental, emotional, and spiritual strength is the most valuable thing that you could ever have. And that's my message to you today. I thank you for tuning in to my channel. This is Annie. And if this message has been in any way helpful to you at all, in any way helpful, if you've learned anything, even if you already know this, and this was helpful as a reminder, because I know a lot of people already know this. We already know these things. But if it was a helpful reminder, it was helpful at all, it was encouraging at all to you, please like, share, and subscribe. I thank you, and I appreciate you, even though no one knows about my channel yet. Until next time, this is Annie from Eagle Eyes, formerly known as Life's Classroom. Thank you.